to feel down. I said, young man, pick yourself off the ground. I said, young man, cause you're in a new town. There's no need to be unhappy, young man. There's a place you can go. I said, young man, when you're short on your dough, you can stay there. And I'm sure you will find many ways to have a good time. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA.
Wow. That probably just got us kicked off of
everything. We're starting on a good front.
You know what? It's worth it. It's worth
Hell
it.
yeah.
We're live on Rumble.
See YouTube. We're still up on YouTube
and X. I added my X, so
we're good.
Are we on your
live
X?
on X too. Yeah.
All right. I'll try to limit that so we don't get too kicked off. Hello, everybody. An exciting day. Let me unplug that so we don't get feedback. I figured perfect day to have young Garrett here. Obviously, he's here. Amy here, and Gregg Henson, 3G himself, will join us momentarily. He's apparently stuck in a blizzard. And so I don't know if you guys are getting that, but then he's in Grand Rapids. And so they just get that lake effect. It just kills them. So he's making his way to his home and then to join us. He should be here any moment. But Amy, how are you doing?
I'm good. Snow is what is allowing me to be here. I was supposed to be in Houston, and they're getting 3 inches of snow. Oh, no. And that is a really big deal in Texas. The airports in Houston are shutting down from midnight tonight until midnight tomorrow.
Why?
So,
it
was going to be like a total shit show. So they texted us and said, but the downside is we have to do the same meetings, but on Teams. So it's like it's going to be virtual meetings tomorrow instead of in-person meetings. So
I wonder how much longer we do this flying somewhere for a meeting. It just seems like such a waste. It's fun to go because most people get fucked up and they bang coworkers and it's like a lot of fun. You know what I mean? Like that's what those trips turn into. But
I think that there's something to be said about being in person. You accomplish so much more. You get so much more done. There's just, when you work in a big company and it's not anything for people to spend a couple grand to go to the home office every once in a while. It's,
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just went through this in Dallas where it was like, oh shit. And you realize, because I'm looking outside, I'm like, really? This is a problem? Because I'm used to Detroit. It's like, this is nothing. You would send the kids to school in this.
Right. Although I think they're already canceling school for tomorrow here.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're off today. I mean, it's a federal holiday, Martin Luther the King. I don't know what, just a celebration? Is it the Death Day anniversary?
It wasn't because Trump was getting inaugurated? I thought that was
I don't think that's what they would claim. It just so happens.
They could change that. I just know that they would have. I know they would have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's great. I didn't have to get up early and take the little man to school. It was like Martin Luther the King, still helping people out. I love it.
Gotta love it.
Not that these kids are learning shit in school anyways, but coming off a real bummer of a weekend for all of us Lions fans. Just be thankful that you're not a Trump derangement syndrome person along with the Lions loss. Like this would be
having a rough week.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the Metro Detroit area, half the state, that despise Donald Trump and not only had the Lions loss, but have to deal with this too.
And have to watch Ohio State and Notre Dame in the national championship tonight. I mean, it's just like
we're pulling
case scenario all around.
We're pulling for Notre Dame, right? I am. I mean, I never thought I'd say that, but
absolutely, hands down. Especially because I know there's a historical hatred there, but we haven't played them in however many years. That's kind of worn off a little bit. I think the newer generation of Michigan fans has zero hatred towards Notre Dame because we haven't played them in so long. I'll be happy when that starts back up. But
is that going to start back up?
Yeah, I think
Is that coming?
2031 or 2030, something like that.
Wow.
It's on the
Yeah, when I
schedule.
was a kid, probably towards the end of your child or the beginning of your childhood, that was like every year.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Every year you played Notre
I
Dame.
mean, yeah, and that first Michigan night game against Notre Dame will always be one of my favorite sports memories. I was
Yeah.
ready to make a new one on Sunday, next Sunday, but that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, just devastating. Oh, it was so bad.
Devastating.
Yeah. I mean, we could start there if you want, or we get into the inauguration and stuff there. We'll do both. But yeah, the
Well,
Lions,
do you think Gregg wants to talk about the Lions?
he probably wants to talk about both. So,
Okay.
The Lions, I think we were under a false illusion with what they were capable of. Just like it wasn't making sense. That Minnesota game gave a lot of people false hope that, okay, maybe this will be okay with the defense that banged up. Like you can, like the NFL comes down to a couple things. Like you can have competent leadership, coaching,
Mm-hmm.
general manager, ownership, all that kind of stuff, which I think the Lions have right now for the
sure.
first time in my lifetime. You also need a lot of luck in this league. You just do. You can have the best roster.
100%.
We've seen it with great teams over the years, time and time again, where one critical injury the wrong way. And it's just one of those leagues. You just need your guys to stay in key positions healthy, and you cannot have an entire defense just decimated. It's like,
Yeah.
I
mean, I think when Branch had to sit out that one play, the guy who replaced him, that was his second snap all season.
Yeah, I think that was the case. I think that was the case on the 12 men on the field too.
Dude,
there were literally
that
practice squad guys.
Oh my God, that penalty. I forgot, I blocked that out until this very second when you just said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that game. And I know people want to blame Goff. I know they want to blame him because he had a shit game.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, you can't give up 31 points in the first half and expect to win a game.
No.
So, yeah, I mean, but Goff should be able to put up 38 points or however many points we had and win, which he did anyway. So, I know that he had some, but boy, did he get his bell rung. Oh, my God. Holy.
Yeah. Can you imagine if that was Mahomes? Can you imagine?
I saw someone that said, I saw an X post today that was like, if that were Mahomes, there would be a congressional investigation. There would be, penalty kicks. They'd get the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of those calls on Mahomes were just like, you're just rolling your eyes. You're just like, this is unbelievable how this works. And you can blame all kinds of things. I was talking to G during the Eagles game last night, Eagles Rams, and he just said, imagine if in this first quarter you lost CJ Gardner-Johnson and Darius Slay.
Right.
Imagine what would happen in this game if both your starting corners went out. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Stafford would do what an NFL quarterback does, pick that apart, and it's so true when you think of put it in context of what the Lions have battled through. I mean, Aleem McNeil and Hutch alone on that defensive front. That's why you never put any pressure on Jalen Daniels. They did their best with second, third stringers, even practice squad guys, and it's amazing how well they did.
Yeah.
But at some
with mobile
point,
quarterbacks, they just I mean, and that's all that was left in the playoffs. You were going to see a mobile quarter, with the exception of Matt Stafford. But he's not in it anymore. So I mean, you were going to see Josh Allen or Mahomes. I don't know.
And the only thing you could hang your hat on was okay, if you can just get through the NFC, you're at home, you're playing the Redskins, which is a beatable team. They're not a better team than the Lions.
Right.
They won that game, and Jalen Daniels looks like the absolute real deal. He's going to be a problem if they keep building the right way. But if you can get through that at home, maybe you play the Eagles, get through, and then you got to take on one of those quarterbacks because Jalen Hurts is not the world beater. Like they could have beat the Eagles.
Mhm.
And then hopefully you get Hutch back for the Super Bowl and you go, okay, you get Hutch back. If he can go and be kind of a force in
I
there and
just don't think he would have
disruptive.
been effective.
What's that?
I just don't think he would have been effective. Like, I don't know that he could, like, I think he'd be in there as a distraction almost. Like, you know, like,
Maybe,
I don't know that
but
he's shooting off with a ton of, I mean, in that position, you know, the
yeah,
way you're starting, you have to have, you know, a ton of push off. And I don't know
yeah,
with his injury, it's not like Anzalone with his arm. You know, he had, you know, like with that, you still have your legs. I just
yeah.
don't know that Hutch would have been effective in the Super Bowl. It's like 3 weeks away.
Well, he would have commanded a minimum of a double team
Yes, he
and
would have.
possibly a triple team,
Right.
which opens up other avenues on that offensive line. Like it's
Right.
a dance in there. And
Right.
so you would have had that where these teams knew, no, just run your line and our guy will have time back there. And bonus, you got a guy that can run. Like
Yeah.
that's just there was no disruption coming unless you got that, corner blitz from time to time. And, it worked against Minnesota. It was a good game plan to bring the house and put it on Sam Darnold to beat you. And Minnesota got exposed, and that's that. It would have been interesting to see what teams would have come up with if Hutch, if you could make it there. But yeah, it's,
Wasn't meant to
I
be. And
mean,
now Ben Johnson's off to the Bears.
yeah, I just saw that,
I mean, listen, I'm petty as fuck. And so I'm
yeah.
fully confident in saying I hope he fails there miserably, especially because
Well,
he went in our division. If he would have gone to the Raiders, I would have been like, you know what? I hope he does great out there. But since he went to the
yeah.
Bears, honestly, I hope he fails. I hope he gets fired after his first year. And I hope
Well,
Caleb Williams continues to be shit, which I know he will be.
yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm interested to hear what Henson thinks about some of this.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Ben
not
Johnson,
a professional opinion. That's a
Oh,
Amy
no.
is
Yeah,
petty
yeah.
opinion. So take, that's
Yeah.
that's what that was.
Yeah. It's woman scorned is what it is.
Yeah,
We've
100%.
seen woman scorned behavior forever.
Fuck
Ben Johnson
Stafford,
has
fuck Ben Johnson, fuck them all.
Yeah, you have to think that Ben Johnson has to be going, fuck, that was my job in Washington. And I, at the last minute after they flew here to interview me, said, not interested, and walked away from that Redskins gig. And then they ended up giving it to their head coach. And Ben Johnson could be like, okay, good luck with the Bears.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Like Washington looks like they're going to be a problem for a while. You have one of those.
Mhm.
There's 4 of them in the world, and Washington appears to have gotten the 5th. Now, does it go the route of Robert Griffin Jr.?
Right.
And it's like,
I mean,
oh my God.
Right.
You don't know,
Once
all
teams start to
rookie
figure
year.
him out.
Yeah, I don't know that that'll be the case with him. Like Robert got injured and then they stuck him back in there too early and he was never the same kid and like went from rookie of the year, playoffs. Holy shit, we've arrived. We got one of those special quarterbacks too. Done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you never know what the future's going to hold for these guys, but Ben Johnson could have taken that, what appears to be a competent organization, and now he's going to the Bears. And, I don't know.
I don't know why. It stings and it irritates me more than it's in our division.
Yeah. Well,
annoys.
the whole argument from last year was mission not accomplished.
Yeah.
And it's like,
yeah,
it still isn't.
Hashtag mission still not accomplished.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Actually, I think I do know why. But this year hurt me more than last year did. And don't get me wrong. I mean, last year was technically a more heartbreaking situation because we were literally a half of a game away from going to the Super Bowl. So, like, situationally, it was a worse situation.
This is way worse. This is way worse. This is embarrassing.
This was way worse. I mean, going 15-2, number 1 seed, best team in the league, home field advantage the entire playoffs. You have a bye week, and you're just like, this is your year, your last year with your 2 coordinators. And to just see, the expectation was there. Last year, the expectation was not there. We were just like, holy shit, we're good all of a sudden. This is crazy.
Yeah.
This year,
And you were waiting for the other shoe to drop. The whole season you were waiting for reality to kick in. Like, oh God.
I can't believe they only lost 2 games with the amount of injuries they had. I mean, that's how good the offense is. And that's why I can't put that loss on Goff. And that is a professional opinion. Okay. That's not my emotional opinion.
Well, those interceptions were bad.
Terrible.
Terrible.
But I mean, you should be able to put up that many points in a playoff game and win.
Yeah.
I mean, when we gave up 31 points or however many points we gave up in the first half, it was just like, what? How does that happen in a professional football game in the playoffs?
No, it shouldn't. And I think they gave up 24 in the second quarter or something like that.
Yeah, like insane.
Yeah, you just can't do it. But the injuries caught up to him. What are you going to do? It'll be interesting to see what this team looks like if you do lose both coordinators. This is hard. You see teams every year struggle with this. You lose guys and some have success. Some come from Belichick's team and they don't, and then you're stuck. Like that playbook that Ben Johnson's put together is impressive.
I was just going to say, I kind of hope Dan Campbell, like Waterboy style, goes into the coaches, goes into Ben Johnson's office before he leaves and steals the playbook. And now we're all good and Ben Johnson sucks because he doesn't have any of his plays.
Takes the green playbook.
Yeah.
Just kind of fucking yanks it out of the Fonz's hands. No, dude.
And Ben Johnson's never the same.
Well, if you remember before Ben Johnson, it was Dan Campbell. And he was calling the plays. I think they fired an offensive coordinator and then brought in, Dan Campbell was calling those plays. I don't remember how many trick plays there were, but they were aggressive. Mm-hmm. They were the go for it. I mean, they've changed the league. They've completely changed the league. Yeah. I hope to God you still get those innovative plays that it's not like it's boring watching the other teams in the NFL. Like, here's what you do on first down. Here's what you didn't make a completion on first down, so we have to run it on second down, pick up a few yards before our third down passing down, and then punt on fourth down. Like, that isn't going to float in the NFL with what some of these teams are doing. And I hope the Lions are still able to be that team. I think they will be. I hope they will.
Their last trick play with Ben Johnson was a JMO interception. Oh, that's just...
you just can't throw it.
So I mean, brutal. Oh,
my brother is convinced they told him more than anything. Like, it's either wide open by 30 yards or you run it. You don't throw it into coverage, period.
Yeah.
Like, you're a wide receiver throwing the ball in an NFL game. Those guys will pick that off 100% of the time. You're not fitting something in like you're an elite NFL passer.
Right.
Like, this isn't the playground. It's either wide open or you throw it out of bounds or you run it. And for him to think he was going to be a hero there and squeeze that into no, dude.
It's so disappointing.
Oh, it's just crushing. It's just soul crushing because you're just...
It really is. It is so fucking disappointing, dude. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
I haven't even been able to watch ESPN or anything. Like,
no.
It took everything in me to even watch the games yesterday. I was like, I'm so bitter that we're not watching this going, who are we playing? And then also to pour salt into my giant gaping wounds. Yesterday I get a package on my porch and it's from the Lions and it's a game ball and it's for being a season ticket holder. It's and it says like, it's an official NFL football. And it has like my name on it and thanks for being a, season ticket holder. And there's no doubt in my mind that the marketing team was like, this is going to be great. They're going to get this as the team is headed to the NFC Championship. And they're going to be so excited with their football. Yeah. And then instead it arrived the day after a soul-crushing loss. And it was just like,
I want to see the
thanks
ball
for
now.
the football. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. I'll go grab it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Garrett. When I was in San Francisco for the Lions San Francisco Monday night game this year, it was just after Christmas, and I knew I didn't want to get my brother like a here's a sweatshirt, or something. Like, he's tall. He's like you. He's tall and skinny. And so the arms never fit. They're never the right length. So he needs to buy certain brands of stuff. And so I was there and I was looking around in the Niners store, and I'm like, maybe this will fit him. I don't know, maybe. And there's a table there and they're selling practice balls, like team used practice balls.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I was like, I'm getting that. And you end up paying double what you would pay for an NFL ball, which is about $100. But it's got the Lions stamp on it. Yeah. Yeah. That's an official one. Yeah. Dude, that's dope.
Yeah. So it was like, the thought was nice. The intention was there. Yeah. I'm sure they had better intentions, but when it arrives after that loss, it's like, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, it's funny you say that, because just before, probably 2 days before the divisional game the other day, I finally ordered a new Lions sweatshirt, and it's St. Brown doing the headstand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, fuck yeah, I'll have this for championship week, Super Bowl. This will be great. And now it's going to show up in a couple of days, and it'll just be like, meh.
Say, how many canceled
What's
Amazon
the return
orders went out
policy
Saturday?
Dude, yeah. I mean,
yeah, and now I have these Lions nails, and I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with these?
Yeah, it's crushing. I think we need to appreciate the Lions for what they are. There's a lot of people that, and I could see the posts online. There's so many people that think, hey, Trump won the presidency, like a light switch, my life is good. Or the Lions are my identity. That's how, and it's like, no, dude, like there's not some magical dust waved around all of us that is like, hey, like, it really does. Like, there's some key important things that happened with that Trump election, and we'll get into all that. But, the fact remains, man, we're getting our happiness and joy not from a politician or not from a football team, but from people you like being around, talking to, hanging out with. It's, and this Lions loss is devastating, but they had an amazing season. And, it kills me that I wasn't around the city of Detroit for the first time in decades to see it, see the reaction from people, know how excited people were. It really does suck, but I can only imagine what the mood is around there today, yesterday.
Yeah, it's depressing. I haven't even left my house, and I was like dreading going to the airport and going to Houston, because I had planned like I was going to wear my Lions gear in Houston, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to pack now. So yeah,
dude, I've been wearing, like, I do this show and I'm wearing a Lake Tahoe sweatshirt today, but every time I leave this place, I've got a Lions sweatshirt on or Lions hat or something. Like, everywhere I go, it's like, yeah, Arizona, you're going to know Detroit's being represented everywhere. Like, and now it's like, nah.
Mike, next year, the Super Bowl is in San Fran.
Is it? Oh, is it back in San Francisco?
It's at Levi Stadium. And then the year after that, it's in SoFi Stadium. So California.
Oh, down in LA. Yeah. Yeah. They always want it in warm climate. It's always been in New Orleans, Miami, San Francisco. It's unfortunate that it's, $5,000 a ticket.
Yeah. I just know that the Lions are going to be in the first international overseas Super Bowl. I just know it. And we're going to be watching the Super Bowl at 9 a.m. on a Sunday. Like, that is 100% going to happen.
Yeah. I hope to God it doesn't happen, dude.
How could you even? I mean, it's coming. It's coming. It'll be one of the next awarded cities, I bet. London.
Yeah. It's, oh my God, I hope they don't do that. The fact of the matter is, if you look at where NFL football, like, to us, it's the only sport that matters, really. I mean, you've got baseball in America, and you've got, basketball, but they're not killing it. nationally, and football is just an absolute powerhouse. But the fact is, it barely cracks the top 10 in sports worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Like the number one sport in the world is soccer. Number two, do you know what the number 2 sport in the world is?
Oh, it's probably like rugby or something.
Cricket.
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 It's cricket.
Just
Cricket,
India.
rugby, table tennis has more fans.
Mm-hmm.
Swimming, I think, is up there. Like, it's crazy. And so we look at it and go, why do we need to have games in fucking Mexico City? Why are you doing games in fucking London? I don't want to get up at 9 in the morning. Yeah, Brazil. Who gives a shit?
All shitty. They're like the teams are told they can't leave the fucking hotel because it's so dangerous there. But they're like, hey, come on, let's have a football game here.
Yeah, you don't have any rights like an American citizen if you get into trouble there. But fuck it, we'll roll the dice and hope everything's cool.
Yeah,
that there's not an international incident when one of these guys fucks up, which they inevitably will, and are not covered by U.S. law.
It seems like a big difference, like Mexico City and Brazil versus like London. I'd be like, okay, I can go to London, but you're like Brazil? I don't know. It just seems like there's like more of an opportunity for shenanigans.
Yeah, well, it's just a money grab.
Yeah,
they want to.
But I mean, Goodell has already said that the Super Bowl is happening overseas. Like it's happening.
Well,
yeah. Well, then they're going to have to do it at 3:00 in the morning. It's going to be what?
Yeah.
What did you say, Garrett?
I said it's going to be a weird Super Bowl when half our guys get picked up for their legal weed. Now we have to do more international. Right. I don't think we have enough weapons dealers to trade for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, dude, that's you think about it, but that's a reality of things. Like these are young men, right? They're kids. I don't care if they're 23 to 27. You know, when you've got these young rosters of testosterone filled guys, like
not thinking right.
Dude, and they can say whatever they want about, they can put all the unity and fucking catchy messages of hope and change painted in the locker room and slap it on their stupid helmets all they want. But these are fucking dudes. And if you've been around these dudes at all, they're fucking dudes. They're absolute men. They are. And they act like rich, young dudes. And it's not like you're going to get stung. Yeah. You're going to get stung. And some people maybe just go, well, they shouldn't have fucked around and found out. But yeah, it's one thing to fuck around and find out in America. It's another in another country.
Oh, I tell people all the time, if you gave me like $1 million contract when I was 20, I'd be dead right now.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm surviving that kind of money at that age.
Speaking of which, you know who's coming out of jail in the next couple of years is Henry Ruggs. And he's going to be like 27.
Yeah.
Like totally still able to play.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you think for a second, I mean, dude, I could tell stories for days about hanging out with Lions players when they were first drafted, and they're everything you'd think. And I can't imagine behavior of young males has changed a ton. Some are more responsible than others, but there are a lot of guys on those rosters that are just fucking dudes.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah.
You can have team policy that no one can fuck a cheerleader. Yeah. Okay. Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about Mexico City, if one of these guys in Brazil gets caught doing something they shouldn't, you're out of U.S. jurisdiction. And I don't know. Garrett, you've done some international travel.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like I know. I've done Mexico, but I know you've been a few places. Amy, I don't know if you've done a lot of world travel.
Just like the Caribbean and Mexico. Yeah, I haven't been to Europe.
I've done Scotland and Dominican. That's it. That's my out of country.
Okay.
And Canada, of course, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, I've done Canada and Mexico. And I remember being young and, a few dollars in my pocket thinking, I can kind of behave any way I want like I can in America. And it's just hard to grasp, like, hey, I'm running free and doing my thing. I'm not hurting anybody. And like, no, man, the rest of the world doesn't work like that.
it was one of those weird things I had to remember. Like, I was drinking a lot in Scotland, and I had to remember, like, if I pop off the wrong way in a bar, I can actually go to jail. Like, if I just say the wrong thing, if I just say, fuck the government here, this government fucking sucks, I can go to jail for that.
Try that. Yeah, in Canada, you could go to jail for that.
It's even more dangerous because over there, their drinking age is 18. So I was partying with my brother, who was 19 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So there were two of us drunk who could have just popped off at any moment and gotten thrown in jail for things that are perfectly fine in the U.S.
I just think it's dangerous when you're dealing with other people's lives so you can make a buck, because that's what it's about. It's about these guys getting as many dollars as they can. And it's like, you're already a $1 trillion organization. Like, how much do you need? How much do you fucking need? Like,
you know, Mike, there's never been an organization, though, that there's never been a for-profit company that has gone into a year and said, I would love to just stay steady or go down.
Yeah.
I mean, the ultimate goal at the end of the day for every single company is to make more money, and you have to figure out ways to do that. So, you know, expanding to an international market is I understand games, like one-off games here and there, but to have a Super Bowl, like the Super Bowl is our event. Like that's our event. And you are already making it impossible for the regular person to go to the Super Bowl if it's in the United States. So having it overseas, you're making it 10 times more difficult to go to the Super Bowl. And it's like, that is our event. You can have games there, but if those fans want to come to the Super Bowl, they have to come here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's
no, I agree.
Not a
there he is.
Opinion. Hello.
There's 3G.
Hey guys. Hi Amy. Hey Garrett.
Howdy.
How you doing, pal? Did you get through that snowstorm okay?
We're getting whacked in Allendale. I mean, blowing sideways. People are in ditches. You know, Michigan's supposed to be able to drive in this stuff.
Where is Allendale? Is that really close to Grand Rapids?
It's about 12 miles west of Grand Rapids, straight west toward Lake Michigan.
Dude.
Oh, we're in full lake effect snow right now.
Yeah. Dude, that's snow unlike any I've ever seen before. When I worked in Kalamazoo, it was just like when you got west of Lansing, it just like a dividing line in the road, and it just fucking pounded.
I was at the dog park earlier too tonight.
Yeah.
Oh boy, chilly.
Yeah. Was it snowing then? Was Oyster out in the snow?
Sideways, yeah. She loved it. She had frozen whiskers.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
I've been outside all day, so this feels like -8. I felt it.
You know, but I got to be honest, if you're dressed properly, I wasn't freezing. I mean, it was cold, but it's doable. And she needed to get out, you know?
Yeah. Well, we'll get you up to speed. We'll get to the inauguration and stuff in a moment, but we've been talking about the Lions kind of drowning our sorrows. What did you make of that, Greg? Because I texted you during the game or right afterwards, and I was like, you know, because I'm seeing a lot of same old Lions posts, and I understand that's a lot of emotion, people upset. I don't at all feel like this is same old Lions. What was your takeaway from that game?
Well, first of all, the Lions don't have the ability to upset me anymore. I mean, I wanted them to win. I was hoping that we would see this team finally get to the Super Bowl. But what did I tell you on the last show? I told you for every championship that Detroit wins, there's one last kick in the nuts before you win it. It was the 88 Pistons when they inbounded the ball. DJ picked it off. It was the 96 Wings, who were heavy favorites to beat the New Jersey Devils and got swept. Yeah. It was the 83 Tigers, the 67 Tigers. I mean, it was Michigan last year when they got blown out by TCU. I mean, it's happened every time. So I fully expected one last kick.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily think it was coming to the Commanders. But what could be worse than losing the game to the Commanders, right?
Yeah. Do you think if they played that game again next Sunday, the Redskins win again?
Maybe. The defense, though, man, is so beat to hell. I mean, the guys playing there, Jaden Daniels was playing against future Uber drivers. I mean, there's guys there who don't belong starting in this league. and especially the defensive line. Not one guy could get a pass rush. Not one.
Yeah, none.
So
not even close.
Injuries aren't an excuse, but it's an explanation. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. I'm not pissed off at all because I don't think that window's anywhere near closed. I think it's just opening. And I think I do think they're probably going to get to a Super Bowl. But the only thing that concerns me now is you have Jaden Daniels standing there every year now, right in your way. He's going to be waiting for you. But they can beat him. He's not special if you get a rush at him, just like everyone else.
Well, the thing is, he looks like, because I believe there's like four. There's four in the world that are like, anybody would want them on their team. And Washington may have found number 5 with Jaden Daniels, or they got themselves another Robert Griffin Jr. And Robert Griffin Jr., his first year was all world, went to the playoffs, rookie of the year, holy shit. And then he got injured, and that was the end of him. And so we don't know yet.
It's not just injuries, though. NFL defensive coordinators will watch tape on him, and they will figure out a way to stop him, like they did with Dak Prescott, like they've done in a large part with Jalen Hurts. The only difference, look at C.J. Stroud this year. No one could touch him last year. NFL defensive coordinators figure it out. The only possible exception is Daniels is so lethal with his accuracy. He might be one like Mahomes that you're just not going to be able to figure out. We'll see. Time will tell. Next year, I'll tell you a lot.
I think you just nailed it with the accuracy part, because that was the knock with, Lamar. It was like, you can't get a hold of him, but he's not a threat really with the accuracy, and he's gotten better with his accuracy.
Yes.
Jaden Daniels, that throw over the top down by the 5-yard line, high waist. There she is.
Oh, she had some slow in these paws, man.
Yeah. Look at her. I'd bring your girlfriend Cece in, but she's basking in 70 and sunny right now. So she can't come say hi.
She's probably miserable because the oyster loves the snow.
Dude, so does Cece.
Yeah.
She wants to be dirty, wet, running on grass. She can't do any of that anymore. It just sucks.
I know.
We're going to lose.
Your point is, though, if they play that game with Hutch, they win. You have to get it. You have to get after Daniels.
Yeah. Or at a minimum, because Amy brought up like, hey, Hutch coming off injury it might take some time to get up to speed, which it would, but he's going to command at least a double team, least, which hopefully frees some of your interior guys to get some sort of pressure.
They got none. Draft
none.
Edge.
Yeah, they have to. I feel like
an edge or a linebacker. Because Zadarius Smith disappointed me. I didn't think he was, he was worth whatever they paid for him because they got him for a bucket of balls. But, I don't know. I want to draft an edge, and I think there's enough of them in this draft that you can get an impact guy to help out on the other side. And you'll get Davenport back, and you'll get Elaine McNeil back, and Muhammad looks like he's going to get re-signed. So I think they just need an edge, a corner, and another offensive lineman. I think they're good. But I don't think they're going to spend a ton of money on offense. It's going to go on defense again, I think.
Yeah.
That's where it needs to go.
Which is smart. Yep.
Because you can't, like I said before you joined, Greg, you can't give up 31 points in the first half and expect to win a game. I mean, we put up 38 points, however many points we put up, and that should be enough to win.
It was enough.
Yeah. It was enough. I mean, so like people want to put this on Goff, and I don't put it on Goff. I mean, he didn't have his best game, but he didn't have his best game against Dallas either, and we still won that game because our defense actually did something. So
I'm game for Goff, though. I think he's fine. I have no issues with Jared Goff. A little more elusivity, maybe, but other than that, he is not the problem. The problem was
not at all.
Shit defense. And they're going to need to replace Taylor Decker soon because the left side.
Yeah, I know. There's enough people I see chirping online about Decker.
And maybe Glasgow.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Do you worry about, because it looks like Ben Johnson's going to sign with the Bears today, my brother brought it up first to me, but it was like, I wonder how much he regrets about facing Washington last year when they flew to town to interview him, and he said, "Nah, I'm going to stay here," and they were all pissed off. Yeah. I wonder if he wishes he was with Jaden Daniels and the Redskins right now.
But he's going to have Caleb Williams, and I think Caleb Williams
sucks.
But properly coached, I think he's a pussy.
Really though, he is a pussy, and I just don't think he sucked in college too. I don't know. Personally, I think for me, when he ran to the stands and he was crying in his mom's arms, that to me, I was like, he's not going to be successful. He's just not. Like, I'm sorry, he's not. And before you joined, I said, I hope Ben Johnson fails because I'm emotional and I'm petty. So he could have gone anywhere else, and I would have rooted for him. Greg. But the Bears, fuck off, Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I don't care. Good riddance, and also. And I don't care what they do with Aaron Glenn either. I trust Dan Campbell to find a new guy. I'm not. He found Ben Johnson the first time. Johnson was a quarterback coach, I believe, or something. And they fired Anthony. Was it Anthony Lynn so that they could promote him? So I'm pretty confident this team's Dan Campbell's, not Ben Johnson's. And I do think Ben Johnson suffers from look at me. When he had some bad calls. Who the fuck throws the ball with Jameson Williams on the most important drive of the season, knowing this kid is a dummy? He's a dumbass. He's a great athlete. He doesn't make very good decisions. So let's let him throw the ball.
Yeah. I'm confident that if you put David Montgomery in that position, he pulls that ball down or whips it out of bounds. He doesn't throw into double coverage with it.
And Gibbs too. Gibbs, any of them.
Yeah. No, that's just a no-brainer.
Oh, by the way, Johnson's gone. He is the Bears head coach.
Yeah, he's the Bears.
He is. Okay. Right before we started, I got a text saying, they're finalizing, but until it's signed, you never really know. So he's the Bears head coach now. Do you think the playbook looks the same? They've been so innovative the last couple of years under Ben Johnson. I don't know if that's 100% him or if that's kind of a Dan Campbell and him thing, if it's like back to more traditional NFL offense, or if someone else comes in and what do you think?
Not with this personnel. I don't think it's traditional at all. And I think Dan Campbell has as much input on that offense as Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's a 37-year-old kid in his first coordinator role. I don't think he was making this up on his own. You know what I mean? Let's not act like this guy. Everyone freaks out about coaches, but good teams lose coaches every year. If Dan Campbell's worth his salt as a head coach, he'll replace them like Andy Reid replaced Eric Bieniemy. Like every year, these guys.
And it's not like breaking news that these guys are getting jobs. I think we were lucky that they came back this year. But if Dan Campbell hasn't been planning their successors, then shame on Dan Campbell that he shouldn't be a head coach. Like you said, he's a head coach for a reason. He very likely has who his next up are going to be, and I'm sure that they'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree with that, Amy. And there's guys. Isn't Syria? Who's the Robert Saleh? Is he available?
Yeah,
Saleh. They're trying to sign him back as D coordinator in San Francisco.
Yeah, fuck the Niners. They're out.
Yeah. But he I think didn't he interview for the Lions job?
He's from Detroit.
He's from Detroit. Yeah. That would be. I wouldn't mind him. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah, I think he would be a really good defensive coordinator for the Lions.
Well, I would caution these teams to be careful what you wish for. Just being a brilliant young coordinator in this league in no way guarantees. That's just such a different job being the head coach, overseeing all that shit. It's one thing. Yeah, Matt Patricia's a great example. So is basically anyone from Belichick's tree.
Especially in Chicago, that organization in that city is not going to put up with growing pains from their new coach. In their mind, they've got their quarterback. They've got they should be ready to compete in the NFC North. So if Ben Johnson goes in, they're not a forgiving fan base, And
it's a fucked up ownership group too.
Right.
The McCaskies. Mama McCaskey's 102 years old. I shit you not. And she's still got her fingers in that thing. And I think her son's running it too. But, the Bears have been fucked up since '85 for a reason. They're like the Lions, before Sheila said, "Mom, go to Shady Acres and let me handle it." I'm not convinced the Bears are going to do anything.
Yeah, I think a little more, as much as it kills me about Caleb Williams, than you do, Amy. I think that kid had a decent season for a rookie in a shit organization. This is going to be a tough division in the coming years. And yeah. But anyways, why don't we shift gears a little bit?
Tough division that didn't win a playoff game this year.
Yeah. Isn't that something?
True.
Isn't that best division in football? And it's down to the Eagles and Commanders.
And the shitty ass East.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unreal.
It's unbelievable. It's heartbreaking. I know there's a lot of emotional posts out there, and it was a fun year. It's exciting. And I think I'm right there with you, Greg, and I think you, Amy, that the window is just opening. Like, if
they're
done,
young.
If done right, this should be years of good
Sewell
ball.
and St. Brown, and Goff. Like, these are all like young dudes that are at the very beginning of their contracts.
Do you realize they have the fourth most cap space this offseason? They have a shit ton of money to spend. So I'm not concerned about the Lions. I'm really not. I don't care about coordinators. I care about head coaches. And they have a lot of money. They have a bunch of draft picks. And they're going to get, if Aaron Glenn leaves, they're going to get 2 third-round picks for him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because he's a minority.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, the Niners have used that to their advantage for years now. It's huge. It's huge. The Niners have done it for years. 3rd-round pick. The Niners got one with Robert Saleh.
Oh, my God.
They got one with Mike McDaniel. Dude, Mike McDaniel fooled people into thinking he's part Chinese or something. And they ended up getting a 3rd-round pick for him. Robert Saleh, D'Amico Ryans. They've done it for years.
Yep.
For years. Yep. It's about time. Yeah. That's great. I forgot about that. Hopefully we can say, like, Ben Johnson. We need to outgoing just be like, yeah, Ben Johnson was trans or something. See if we can steal a 3rd-round pick for no reason. It's just hilarious.
He needs to identify as a black man.
Yeah, sure. Well, what did you think? I'm sure you guys were paying attention to the inauguration today and the celebration going on there in DC.
A lot of pomp, a lot of circumstance.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about the pomp and circumstance. I'll be honest with you. Not crazy about it. A lot of prayer. Yeah, not.
I mean, it was like back to back to back to back. Like, I'm like, I feel like this is a lot of prayers by a lot of different people.
He's got to base the kind of
generally saying the same thing.
Yeah.
I
think it was. It's morning in America, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think.
What do you think, Greg? My highlight moment was watching the helicopter leave the fucking White House. Just bye, fucko.
Did you hear what Ben Shapiro said?
No.
He said,
no.
We haven't seen a helicopter like this leave such a disaster since Vietnam.
Yeah. He's not wrong.
Ben's funny, man. Ben's funny.
Yeah, Ben is funny.
Yeah, he's great.
I can't stop smiling. I can't wait for this week. I want to hear all these executive orders. I know they're trying to fuck Trump by showing crying Mexicans across the border today, but we knew that was going to happen. There's going to be a lot of crying on MSNBC, and it just warms my heart.
Yeah, I'm here for all of it. All of it. Do we have video of the crying Mexicans?
I love it,
Garrett. I think we do. I think we could show a little bit of it.
Pull it up.
Why not? We have quite a few videos to show if you guys are interested.
Is that your launch pad behind you there, Mike?
My launch pad?
Your bed.
What? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, this is... Here you go.
Do you think this is real?
Get in line.
Camera right in her face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, bitch.
It's an actress.
I was 5 minutes
Probably.
too late.
Well, that's what happens when you're on woman time. If you hadn't done your hair.
Slow down, lady. You've had 4 years to walk over.
Like, she had an appointment. She had an appointment at 1:00 on January 20th. What the fuck were you thinking, lady? Like, seriously?
She had to do her hair and makeup.
Oh my God! By the way, she doesn't look like a typical person looking for desperate help.
She's
from
just looking for asylum, Mike.
Yeah, just looking for asylum. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah, she just wants freedom and a free house and a free food and a free car and a phone.
Free phone.
A lot of people are saying it's like, I cried this way when they took away my free cable. Too bad I had to get up and do it the right way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That was Margelis Tinoco, a Colombian woman. Well, maybe we can visit you in Colombia, ma'am. Yeah, or you can get your ass in line like the rest of people that have historically done it that way.
Happy to have
I'm not
you
going to feel so.
Right way.
What's that?
Happy to have you if you get in line.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
bring something to this country. Maybe. What is?
Oh, the sentiment. Everybody is just commenting. It's like, look, we feel bad for them, but also just do it the right way, and we won't have a problem.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. By the way, I'm getting really tired of this take that I'm seeing on all the news people, like trying to break down this election and what went wrong where. And well, Biden lost because he mismanaged the border, in part. That was a big part of it. His I don't think at all he mismanaged the border. That was There's no way that was mismanaged. That was done on purpose. People need to understand that there was nothing mismanaged about it. There was nothing about that situation. Like, keep in mind, folks, when the Texas governor wanted to put their guard down on the border, and this administration did everything they could to block it in real time. They were selling off pieces of the wall for pennies on the dollar. Don't forget. So don't let anyone tell you like, oh yeah, Biden, he kind of just dropped the ball on that. No, he did exactly what he wanted to do there.
Yeah, and when Kamala is asked, would you have done anything differently, and she gives a resounding no. That just goes to show that they don't look at that as like mishandling. They handled that the way they planned, and that was a success in their mind. They got a shit ton of new voters in this country.
Did they?
Yeah, but what they didn't expect was that those voters weren't automatic Democrat voters. Right. That's where it kind of bit them in the ass, because a lot of the immigrant males voted for Trump. And I think, if you look at the last two elections, there's this map they do, and the whole border was blue in Texas in 2020. This year it was not. It was a lot of red down there this year. People have had enough. People are sick of being gaslit for the last 4 years, sick of being fucking lied to, taken advantage of, and just generally overall fucked around with. Yeah. And I think the key words today was a return to common sense. There's two fucking genders. We're not talking about men, women, X, Z, she, X, Y. It's men and women. We're not dicking around. 0.01% of the population has gender dysphoria, and we're not going to change everything we do for them. And if their gender dysphoria is real, that's fine. They can get help for it or whatever they need. But you're not trans kids. Did you see the video this week of the severely autistic girl?
Oh no, I've seen it. It made me sick.
Fucked up. She got like cerebral palsy or something. Yeah.
And they cut her tits off.
It was the first time that like a trans story came up, and I was like, even I'm sick of the community. Like, I got violent for a second.
Let me find
Garrett,
it.
It's so gross.
Mike,
it is so fucked up.
You'll be horrified. This person can't speak.
Okay, so for context, on Twitter, I put in trans retard, and the first video that came up was the one I was looking for. We are back. The country is healing.
We are so back.
I can all the memes of that. It's okay to say retard again. Look at that.
This thing consented, Mike.
Yeah,
this consented. This is trans.
What the fuck? It's hard to look at, man.
Yeah. That's just disgusting.
That is so fucked up.
At what point did she say, "Cut my tits off"?
Yeah.
Right.
What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. So it's just it's pushing an agenda is what it is, and it's gross. And thankfully, your fellow countrymen saw through it.
They did in big numbers, and I think that's why I'm telling you. I was listening to some commentators. Trump is telling people he's got 100 days to make big change, and he ain't stopping. Let's face it. The election starts in 18 months for the next one, and he can't run. So he's got to get a lot of shit done. He's got 2 years of his own House and his own Senate, although they're saying that he might widen those gaps with 2 good years now. There was some stuff that came out, some polling that says they could build on that, the House majority. So hopefully they can get shit right and back to normal. And I'll tell you, even Trump is acting more normal than he did in 16. Like
he's so
100%.
much more subdued now. It's crazy.
Reasonable.
Like just the tone of his voice. It's like, man, I mean, just so different.
Well,
he still says kind of generally the same like shit, but he's just so much more like subdued about it. I don't know. It's kind of
you got to think, one of the things about Trump that's always been true that people couldn't get their heads around was they instigated so much of that, and he's a counterpuncher. That's kind of the New York in him, is this like you punch him and think that he's just going to meekly walk away. That's not Donald Trump. It's never been Donald Trump. And Greg, especially you and I are old enough to remember Donald Trump of the 80s, the 90s. And so those people are not getting away with outrageous, just slamming on Trump and making him defend himself and go hard in the paint at people. So I think that's part of what you're seeing is like, he doesn't have to anymore. He doesn't have to. You know who he is. You know what he brings. You know, one of the things I'm interested to see is, you know, this fucking corrupt sack of shit that just flew out of there today, dropping all these pardons for everyone that's in his orbit. You know, how do you think they're going to
so fucked up? It's so fucked up.
Yeah.
How the fuck?
I mean, they're not even charged with a crime. What are you pardoning?
I was going to say, how can a president pardon for the future?
What's crazy is he pardoned back to 2014. Yeah. I would just love to know, hey, how'd you pick that date? Because you were still vice president then.
Yeah.
Is that because that just happens to align with all the shady activity that was in Hunter's laptop?
I think he just doesn't care anymore. He's like, if they think I'm corrupt, they think I'm corrupt.
It's
I'm out
so
anyways.
Fucked up. I just can't even. Every single thing that they accuse Trump of being, they are 100%.
You know what, though? That fucker will be back in the rotunda lying in state in a year.
100%.
I know.
I think he's going to decline fast. They're going to take away whatever experimental drugs they've been giving him to keep him upright for the last 2 fucking years. That's all going to go away, and he's just going to become, Gerald Ford for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
I have no, I have some affinity for all the old presidents, the past presidents, just not him and Obama.
Sure.
Like even I like Bill Clinton a little bit now, and I hated his guts back then.
I love George Bush. I just think I love he just does. That's what I love about him. Yeah. Like I don't love George Bush as think he was the best president, but just watching him walk up and hit Obama in the chest, and he's just sitting there going, when can I take off this fucking suit and get back to painting in Texas? I served my time. I don't want to be doing this anymore.
Yeah. No, he's great. Ever since you saw him throw out the first pitch at 9/11, you're like, yep, that's a dude right there.
That dude. He's gonna start a war for no reason, but I kind of like that dude.
War's good for business.
Did you
kind of like that?
It's these pardons. So literally, as they're swearing Trump in, these pardons drop. Biden pardoned his brother James, his James's wife Sarah, his sister Valerie, Valerie's husband John for some reason, his brother Francis, and then his quote was, "My family's been subjected to unrelenting attacks and threats, motivated solely by a desire to hurt me. The worst kind of partisan politics. Unfortunately, I have no reason to believe these attacks will end. I believe in the rule of law."
The attacks on Hunter were because they knew it was illegal activity. And they knew it. Yeah. They had it on the fucking laptop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see Trump revoked the security access to those 51 State Department CIA agents? Revoked their access for signing that letter that it was Russian disinformation.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. No, I don't know why that's
election interference at its finest.
Yeah.
At its finest.
The reckoning's here. The fucking reckoning's here, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, these pardons absolutely enrage me. And I couldn't figure out why. I'd fucking hang out with Hunter. He's probably a blast. He's done all the drugs, fucked all the chicks. Whatever. It's he seems like he'd be a blessed. I think it's because this is exactly kind of to your point, Amy. This is what they claimed Trump would do. And it's like, what is your excuse now? What are you going to say? How are you going to spin this in a way? I don't think Trump had any interest in looking back at these people, but it wasn't good enough. It's just infuriating,
Yeah, and like if you're so focused on, that my family's been a target, blah blah blah. Again, why did you go back to 2014? Why not back until like the beginning of their adult life? Because I'm sure they committed some crime somewhere.
Yeah.
Why 2014? What happened while you were still vice president, big guy? What happened in 2014? Yeah. Was it Burisma?
And it's 100% Burisma. Do we have video of the media and Democrat leaders there, Garrett, on pardons? Because this is what they worried about with Trump when he was leaving. And of course, he didn't do anything like pardon everybody he's ever fucking met before. But this is these same clowns when they were worried that Trump was going to pull a move just like this, which of course he didn't.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of somebody getting a preemptive pardon who was innocent of all crime? Who's just an innocent person? Have you ever heard of that? Just somebody getting a blanket pardon and they're an innocent person?
But no, it's the president's own family. It's people that have been covering up for the president in addition to his own family.
Is there an innocent explanation for someone to seek preemptive pardons for family members? Would you do that if you knew you were innocent and just worried about outside forces?
Yeah, would you?
The answer to that is going to be no. If you haven't done anything wrong, you sit there and go, what do you need a preemptive pardon for?
If he pardons people preemptively, he's essentially telling the public that these people have committed crimes. And we may not be aware of what they are, but the pardon is clear evidence that crimes have been committed.
I imagine if he decides to issue these preemptive pardons, it will be cast in a way that he is protecting his family and protecting their reputations from, villainous exterior forces that are against him.
First off, we should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability and that of his family members that pardons are a major obsession with him.
The idea of a kind of prospective pardon, this sort of permanent federal get-out-of-jail-free card. That seems to be what we're talking about in the case of this, right? With Giuliani and his 3 eldest children who, as far as we know, have not been convicted of a crime. No. Maybe they've committed a lot. And they don't want to face action. I don't know. It's weird. I wouldn't ask for a pardon. I don't think I deserve one because I don't think I've done anything criminal. But where does that come from? That concept you can just kind of wave your magic pardon wand.
We have Tish James. We have Xavier Becerra. Mimi Roca is literally my DA in my town. There will be opportunities to prosecute these people, regardless if they abuse the pardon power as they are thinking.
Good to know.
Yeah. Hopefully, Ellie, there will be a skyfall on this entire crime family, and there will be another day for
the entire crime family.
Yes, the Trump crime family. Famous.
The lack of shame, the stunning hypocrisy. What's that, Greg?
This generation of cable news anchor and pundit have destroyed the credibility of the media over the last 4 to 8 years. No one believes them. No one trusts them. We're sitting here watching it right now, and we're seeing it, and so is the rest of America. Now, there will be libs like my wife who will watch that and agree with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
So what is the excuse for that? Under this magical world, Trump is going to go in and just seek retribution against the Liz Cheneys and Valerie Biden for some reason.
Right.
For those that don't know, that the allegation has been written about in books, and I would encourage the Bidens to sue over this if it's untrue. But there are shell companies around the world, dozens and dozens of Biden family members that this is where their funding was going, from Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, China. were landing in these foreign bank accounts under the names of these family members. That's why this matters. That's why this matters. So, and why it's necessary. Why would you, that's why some people are confused. Like, why didn't you give your 5-year-old granddaughter a pardon? I think there's fucking accounts in her name in some of these. Yeah, right. Exactly.
But
by the way,
that Hunter kid
people
is definitely going to need a future pardon. So they should have just gotten that out of the way.
There are people saying, like, I even saw Trump Jr., Don Jr. tweet out today, like, hey, if you've got nothing to hide, then just don't accept the pardon. That's not how the pardons work. And those, you can come out publicly and say all you want, but the fact that, and you can, like, Fauci was pardoned. Why would Fauci need a pardon?
Incredible.
But he was.
Well, they were, because they were
Fauci
go
could
after
come
him
out.
for gain of function research with federal dollars. That's
Yeah.
what they were
Well,
going
good.
And
Haul
they
his
should.
ass in front of Congress now. He has zero reason not to testify. He can't plead the fifth. He can't be charged with a crime. So haul his ass in and make him tell the fucking truth and make him answer the questions. Same with the Jan 6 committee. Make him answer questions. They're pardoned. They're not going to get in trouble.
Yeah, I hope they still do.
Hell yeah.
I still hope they do. And that's a fact. That pardon is not. There's a difference between a pardon and what's the other one? Where they commute your sentence, because I think pardon covers in a way that means you can't plead the fifth in court because you're not facing criminal prosecution. That a pardon means you could still drag these fucking people in front. That you'd be better off. You could still investigate and you could still make them testify, and they can't plead the fifth with a pardon.
Or you know what you can do?
Now a commutation.
You can change laws and bring them up in state charges like they did in New York for Trump. Just change the law.
Yeah.
Kill the statute of limitations.
You're absolutely
change
right.
The law. Drag him into state court. Dump a bunch of shit in a bucket, throw it at him, and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys think it's worth spending time and resources, and more importantly, time? Obviously, the resources are just made up anyways. The time on this, or do you think Trump's better off just going, just broom all these fucking clowns? We beat them. Let's just look forward. We can't be worried about what the Biden crime family's doing or what. You know, Fauci's a different story in my opinion, but I'm interested to hear what you guys think.
Yeah, I mean, I think each of those, Fauci, that has greater implications to me. I mean, we need to know what the fuck happened, and so we can prevent it from happening again. So to me, like, we need to know what happened there. Same with the January 6th situation. To me, like, I wouldn't, it's less than the COVID thing, but I still wouldn't mind finding out what happened. And then I think with the Biden crime family, it's not just that they're like this crime-ridden family. It's that Ukraine is like directly involved. So, I mean, like, he's been like money laundering all of this money. We've been sending all this money to Ukraine. Like, do we have a right to know, like, if there was some shenanigans happening, if he's in bed with Ukraine and that's why we were sending all this money there? Like they all of these issues have like larger, larger.
Yeah, implications.
A lot of
for
people
sure.
are saying the entire Ukrainian conflict is because of how many of our companies that we put over there that we're not supposed to have, like energy companies, chemical factories, disease factories, things like that. Like, we have so many of those over in the Ukrainian area. That's why they're not a NATO nation, but we're defending them with our life like they are.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
Here's the
what
problem.
do you think, Greg?
If he doesn't kick them in the balls, they'll do it again when they get back in office. So he's got to do something. He's got to hold somebody accountable for the lawfare of the last 4 years. I don't want to see him get very aggressive with it, but I think you got to get the worst offenders. You got to get some of these crooked prosecutors. You got to get some of the people in the intelligence, and you have to hold them accountable. I don't know. You can, even if it's just hearings, because Democrats don't break ranks. That's for the last 4 years. They said they would impeach him. They said they would throw him in jail, and they tried to do it. No one said, just ignore him, which they should have done. If they'd ignored him, they might have the White House right now. No one came up with the bright idea to just fucking ignore Donald Trump. They went after him and they emboldened his voters. So I think he's got to walk a fine line. I think some people have to pay. I'm not sure who that is yet, but some of these dirtbags have got to pay so that Democrats aren't so easy to use lawfare if they're ever in power.
Yeah. I think Fauci's interesting. I think Fauci is so... I think there's good and evil in the world, and that dude strikes me as evil. When you go back to the AIDS crisis and AZT, and then what went on with COVID, and how his words were very carefully crafted to deceive the American public. I don't have any interest in throwing him in prison. He's an 83-year-old man. Fuck it, I don't care. But his reputation should be destroyed. I do want him under oath getting grilled about this shit so that we know, if nothing more than when something like this comes up again, we can point to, remember Dr. Fauci, okay? Don't forget that that's capable, that they're capable of behaving this way, lying to your face, and not giving a shit about your health for their own personal gain.
And here's the problem, though. Half the country won't believe it anyway because they're just walking in lockstep. They don't have any original thoughts in their heads. They're not open thinkers. And, you could tell all of this shit to my wife today, and people like her, and she will still think the same way. We were at lunch today, and I said, holy shit, he pardoned his whole family. And he goes, well, because Trump would have gone after him. I'm like, Trump doesn't know who the fuck Patricia Biden is.
Right. Like my mom, she's such a liberal. She sounds like your wife, but she when he first pardoned Hunter, my mom goes, well, I guess Biden pulled a Trump. I was like, no, Biden pulled a Biden and did what Trump didn't do and pardoned his family, And then my mom texted me today. She's like, that black pastor, he's from Detroit or whatever. I was like, yeah, I heard. I was actually really surprised to see him there because Trump is like an incredible racist. And my mom didn't say anything. She didn't respond.
Well, how did you become conservative? Your dad?
No. So my dad actually died when I was super young, but I had, I would say mainly it was making my own money. But my boss,
there it is.
My boss at work who became like my pseudo dad. I worked with him for 14 years. He is super conservative, and I think just being around him every day, like the things he was talking about, I'm like, yeah, and like he just made me more conservative as time went on. But my mom was always in a union; she was a teacher, and
my wife's a teacher.
Yeah, and my mom agrees with everything that we say. But she will not vote Republican because of the union. Like she can't do it.
No, back when Trump was getting elected back in 2016, it was a big video that went around where people would run up to other people and give them Trump policies and Trump ideas and say they were Obama. And everybody was like, yeah, that's a great idea. I really like that one. Oh, we should totally do that. And they're like, these were Trump policies. They're like, just watch them run. They don't know what to say after that.
Yeah.
Do you guys think we can get back to a day where we can all just look at a story for what it is and just be like, yeah, that's not automatically have what your wife, what your mom, what the warden does, where it's like, I knew that was going to be the response to this. It wouldn't be like, holy shit, I was wrong about this fucking clown all the time. He swore to us that he would never do that. And instead of going, yeah, what a sack of shit, I guess I was wrong about him, immediately going, wow, Trump would have weaponized it. And are we ever going to get back to a normal?
We're only going to get back to normalcy when we put all the liberals in internment camps. Well, that's what they keep saying. We're all going to camps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Might as well give them their wish. All the women, get your handmaidens outfits. You're going to the breeding rooms. Men, get in the camp.
Yes.
Yeah. Get in line to the noose.
One of my old teachers.
Amy, thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, one of my old
thoughts
teachers
for losing your rights today.
Oh yeah, today's the last day of my life. I will be in a Handmaid's Tale outfit the next time you see me.
Sure.
I will have no rights.
Are you pregnant yet?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, are you pregnant yet?
With multiples, but different dads for all the babies.
We got to get more kids
Against your
first.
will.
That's obviously how we got to do this.
Just churning out more kids.
And we're gonna get rid of the female babies.
Exactly.
Well, that goes
I
without
think,
saying.
this Friday might be my last, or Thursday might be my last show because they're rounding up the gays this weekend.
Yep. They're the first ones to go to the camp.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to the gallows. They just said gallows straight up because the trans got a little rambunctious, and they said,
"Yep,
Yeah.
The homos are going to the internment camp."
Yeah. It's about fucking time. We've had to
It's
keep
gonna be
quiet
a fun
about keep
camp,
quiet
all
about
right?
this for way too long.
Yeah, it will be a fun
We're done
camp.
with you
Everyone's
gays.
gonna be dressed well and like
It's
have a
going to be like a
blast.
Diddy freak.
"Oh yeah." They say we get
Yeah,
1
the
week
gay
of freak
camp
off.
would be
And
fun. Yeah.
No, it wouldn't.
we get 1 week of freak off, then it's off to the gas chambers.
Yep.
Yeah.
You'll
Dude,
die
this
with a
is
smile on your face.
well, I hope we get back to some sort of normalcy. I don't know that I have faith in humanity at this point, but
Listen to this story. So, I coach a high school team, and speaking of teachers, and so one of my girls the other day, she's like, "Hey, coach, can you write me a letter of recommendation?" I was like, "Sure." And she's like, "I need 3 of them." And I was like, "Okay, well, ask one of your favorite teachers," And she was like, she was hesitant. She's like, I don't want to tell them where I'm volunteering at because she goes, "I don't think that 1, they'll want to write the letter of recommendation, and 2, they'll start treating me differently." And I was like, "Well, where are you volunteering at?" I was like, "Maybe I don't want to write it. I don't fucking know. Like, what are you about to do?" And she's like, "I want to work at a pro-life pregnancy clinic." And I was like, "Good for you." I was like, "I am going to write you like the best LOR ever." But it was just like, I felt so bad for her that like she wants to spend her time volunteering at a pro-life pregnancy clinic. But in the back of her mind, like her teachers have made their political views so known to her and the rest of the class that she's like, I can't even go to them and ask them for an LOR for this because they're going to get mad. They're going to treat me different. They're not going to want to do it. I'm like, that's sad. That sucks,
Yeah. Here's the thing that is happening. This younger generation is waking up. My 19-year-old, man, he's so common sense. Don't get me wrong. He's goofy as fuck. But he's so common sense about things that even his older brother isn't.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
That's
it's
how
like,
I feel right now. My brother's still
Yeah.
in college at U of M right now, so he's getting there slowly. I keep saying, wait until you start getting paychecks, buddy.
Yeah.
You'll
that's
flip.
when that's when you flip for sure.
My oldest is at Central, and he is the same way. He's basically, he's living his life, trying to impress chicks by being a feminist and all that shit.
Yeah.
And my youngest one is here. He goes to Aquinas. He plays hockey, and he's like, it'll come up. He can't even fathom the gender argument. To him, it's so obviously there's dudes and chicks.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah. What are we doing?
Can't fathom when anyone would say, "Take more money from me in taxes." It's just, it blows his doors off.
Yeah.
And all of his young friends, and including a lot of the females, are the same way. They're like, "What the fuck are we doing here?" And then you see all the freaks that were in the Biden administration, that bald weirdo, the guy who got
Britton.
banged in the Senate room.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that chick who's dressing up as an army admiral.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Rachel Levine. Yeah.
Rick
And
Levine.
the kids look,
I think we can detonate Rick fucking Levine.
Dick
By
Levine.
the way,
but the kids are looking at that going, "That's bullshit."
Yeah.
That's why
by the
young
way,
men voted for
that Rick Levine and the 4-star admiral, that is in name only. That wasn't like, before Rick became a chick. And the worst part about that is Rick can do whatever his fucking delusional mind wants to do, but Rick at least got to the point of having children and a family.
Right.
So to take that away from some of these young kids, like, is so evil to me. Like, oh yeah, you're going to sterilize these kids so they can't make a decision about their future. Rick, you fraudulent admiral in name only. You didn't lead a fucking anything as an admiral, sir. That was given to you by the Biden administration in name only. And Sam Brinton stealing luggage all over. Wow. How weird that the fucking bald freak with green lipstick and a boyfriend on a dog leash and dog mask in public, don't forget about the guy filming himself butt fucking someone else in the Senate floor either. Like, no. And then
that was so normal.
So normal. Like, dude. It's insanity. Insanity.
And then Hunter left his Coke there. And they were just like, oh.
Or Kamala.
Kamala's like, can I get a bump?
Right.
Kamala's too drunk, dude. She's the drinker in the group. She's not active enough for Coke.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah,
she's too
that's
low
true.
energy to assume that she's having Also, like, don't you guys kind of feel like don't you think the January Sixers today have been like sitting around watching all the pomp and circumstance going like, can you guys hurry this up? Like,
Let's go.
We want to get the fuck out of here. Have you signed our pardons yet?
They're all getting, after today, they're all getting
All
pardoned.
of them.
Not one's left behind after today. Let them all out. And I hope they sue the governments.
Yeah. I agree. No, it's funny. I was talking to my brother earlier, and he's like, "Well, what do you think about the ones that were violent and blah blah blah?" And I'm like, "You need to watch a lot more about this." After those pardons today, I'm like, "Fucking let them all out." You pushed the cop. I don't give a shit. Out.
Yeah. You. Hey, how's the warden? How's the warden handling today?
I haven't talked to her. Haven't seen her.
Are you hiding? Are you hiding in the bedroom?
I'm down in here in my fake studio, just like I'm wearing my.
You hear her stomping around up there?
No, she's.
You just hear every now and then, "Fuck him, fuck him."
I'll hear that later. She's actually been pretty cool about it. She's been better, but I just, dude, look, this isn't my wife or my girlfriend or my mom. This is my sister-in-law.
You're being nice for your brother's sake.
I'm not interested in going to war, so I just like fucking. I don't start shit. I just stay out of it. Like, yes, I could needle and make things really uncomfortable around here, but it's not worth it. You know what I mean? I think we all need to get to a better place. I feel bad.
Hey,
but
she needs to be held accountable for the last 4 years too.
Yeah, dude, I agree with you, but part of me wants to move on and hope that we can get to a better place. I know a lot of liberals that are really good, kind people, and they were duped by a media that they trusted. They were lied to by a media they trusted.
And they're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Everyone could have watched Biden and known.
Yeah.
Like I saw that today. Somebody was it was Scott Jennings.
Play it. We have it.
Was leaning on.
We have it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And he was leaning on them.
Yeah.
I love Scott Jennings.
Scott's he's a rock star in training. He's gonna be the next one to blow up. If you have it there, Garrett, let's play it because and this is so funny because this is such a lie. What this liberal's about to say.
Continue to say he won the 2020 election.
So what? Are you saying that he can alter the past by saying
no?
What he
I'm
thinks?
giving you an example of what we're talking about. And so when
I'm sorry, Bakari, your party just engaged in the biggest cover-up in modern American political history on Joe Biden. It's all coming out. We all now know that every Democrat knew it, and you and everybody else came on TV and lied about this man's condition. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Well, the Biden cover-up is the worst thing we've seen in this country in your or my lifetime.
First of all,
and political misinformation.
That is hyperbolic. And
it is not.
It's not only hyperbolic, but it's actually incorrect. And yes, I mean, I wish I hadn't been around the president. I wish I would have known that he was not in the condition that he was.
Do you not have a television?
But I didn't. First of all, I didn't see it until the debate.
But yes, on TV. He's on
TV. But you also just want to sit here and say that is the biggest of misinformation we've seen, the biggest cover-up, the most hyperbolic and sensationalized incident that we've had in American political history in you and our generation or lifetime. When you sat here on January 6th and did not believe that the person right there should be president of the United States or run again in his human lifetime.
It was a terrible day.
It was a terrible day. So we're going to sensationalize this because I can actually sit here honestly and say.
I think we get the point.
Yeah.
I'm dying to know, is it possible Bakari Sellers, who I used to enjoy, by the way, I didn't have a problem with a liberal giving their opinion on something. I've watched Bakari Sellers for years. What he's saying there is an outright fucking lie. You didn't want to see reality. Some of us knew it day one. We talked about it ad nauseum. It was obvious. You didn't need to see the debate in July to know that, we all learned on the same night. Bullshit. Does Bakari Sellers really believe that, or is he so stuck in his beliefs that he truly didn't know it until July?
No, there's no way. We knew it when he ran for president.
Yes.
They kept him in the basement for a fucking reason, because the guy, his brain was already fried. I'm surprised he made it 4 years, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
He was so far gone before he ever even took office. So it's a flat out lie. All of them are running for cover. And again, torching any credibility TV journalists have. I mean, there's a reason no one watches cable news or network news anymore, and they're all going online to the Shapiros of the world and the Katie Pavliches. You got to go to people who aren't going to bullshit you. And if you listen to Shapiro, he'll tell you when he's wrong. He'll tell you when he disagrees.
Yep.
And these other people are like, especially the black woman who's normally on with Scott Jennings. That woman is incapable of being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think, Amy, that Bakari and the chick that they believe what they're saying, or do you think deep down they absolutely know? How could you not know Biden was 100% compromised long before he even took the oath of office?
They 100% knew. They don't want to admit that they're partisan hacks. They think it's going to screw up their credibility if they say, we kind of knew, but we were downplaying it a little bit because we wanted our guy to win. But we kind of knew when that would actually make them have a little bit more credibility. Because Greg, like you said, if Ben's wrong, he'll admit that he's wrong. And I love nothing more than like an Anna Kasparian or a Jillian Michaels, who presumably would still be liberal, but can admit I was lied to. Stephen A. Smith is another one who I watched have dumb take after dumb take in 2020 and 2021. I mean, he just had the dumbest of all takes. And he was such a race baiter. And now you see him changing his tune and admitting like, I was lied to. I was wrong. And I had it wrong. And like, I have a lot more respect for you if you can say that. And I don't know, maybe they can't, because I think you'd have to admit you had no integrity to begin with. Whereas like a Stephen A could say, no, I genuinely believed that. I just have learned that I was wrong. Whereas I think a Bakari would have to say, no, I knew what I was saying was wrong. I just said
Bakari would have to. Bakari would have to know. Like I give a small pass to people that I know who just happen to be liberals. It's like, they're never going to turn on News Nation. They're never going to watch Tucker Carlson. They're never going to do it. And so they're at the mercy of what their legacy media has told them. And they've been watching it their whole lives. So if George Stephanopoulos, why would he all of a sudden just be flat out lying to me? Why would Anderson Cooper do that? Why would, MSNBC's a little different. So for them, it's like they got stuck in this cycle of these people not only lying to them, but then claiming the other side was lying to you the whole time, all the time. And it created this division. How do you handle that now going forward, knowing like, oh shit, what else was I lied to about? Well, you were lied to about a lot of stuff. And the people like Anna Kasparian, Jillian Michaels that are coming out now going, holy shit, it's a redemption story for them. And you notice they're not being shit on by people on the right. They're being welcomed in like, hey, man, sorry it took you so long to get here.
I'm not buying it.
You aren't?
If you fancy yourself a pundit or anybody with any type of political savvy or gravitas, you didn't need anyone to tell you what you were seeing. So the people who said they were lied to, fuck you. You willingly ate it up. If you didn't want to be lied to, it would have taken you 5 minutes on Fox News or a different angle to figure out that you were being lied to. And it's on you to go out and look at both sides. I read the Huffington Post every day for a reason, not because I like it, because I want to make sure that I'm challenging my own biases. And they don't do that. Instead, they got in their tunnel. And they wanted to be lied to. They wanted to believe Biden was fine. They wanted to believe the country was on the right track. And they went there for confirmation bias. And I'm telling you, it happens on the right too. But if you fancy yourself anybody, who's a thinker and at least wants to be challenged, you weren't being lied to. You wanted them to tell you.
Yeah. I suppose I'm.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
No. You're not wrong, Greg. And I suppose there's some like I put people in different categories. Pundits, zero excuse. Anna Kasparian was watching the same shit we were because part of her job is understanding what the other side's argument is, so she can make a further counter. So that's on her to do that. I also think there's a group of people that work hard every day, go to work, they're raising a family, and they get 20 minutes at the end of the night to kind of catch up on the news, and they go to CNN and then all they hear for 4 years is, yeah, Donald Trump's still a sack of shit. Biden's awesome, as you were. And that's all they get. That's all they care. Okay, I kind of know what's going on. The Cowboys lost, and God, that Trump's a monster. And they go on with their day. And to those people, I don't have the same sort of like anger towards as I do the pundits. That's why Bakari Sellers is.
I almost have more anger for people who don't seek it out, because if the 15 minutes you choose every night is a known bias network, then you should find another 15 minutes to get the counter programming. I don't know.
Yeah.
To me, don't talk politics. Shut your fucking hole and don't vote. Stay home. Because
that's a good point.
You should be required to use your brain. And I'll tell you, there are times where I was getting a little wishy-washy on Trump, and I was like, man, maybe it's, right after January 6th, my thought process was, let's move on.
Time to move on. Yeah. Yep.
Too much baggage. It's never going to happen. He's
too divisive.
But yep. And I wavered for a while, but then I started kind of drilling down and thinking, no, things were good when he was in. If COVID doesn't come around, he blows into a second term. And you just got to dig down, and you got to find that time every day. Put your Bud Light down, stop watching the Red Wings for a period, and learn something. I mean, it's on you. You have to learn it yourself, because you can't have people spoon feeding it to you.
Well, you made a great point about, okay, that's fine. If you don't want anything to do with it and you decide to take a knee on that, that's fine. But then shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right. Don't be the problem was they were and continue to be the loudest people you see on social media. The loudest.
I don't want your fucking Facebook memes when you can't, like, if you ever follow me on Facebook and somebody post some stupid shit, the first thing out of my mouth is, you don't even know the basics. Fucking shit. If you don't know the 3 branches of government, you can't tell me how they work. All these fucking women on the abortion thing were like, oh my God, it's the law of the land. And I'm like, you dumb twats.
Yeah.
It's not the law of the land. It's a state issue. And then they can't I had to explain to people, my mother-in-law would say, well, we should be able to make it, there should be some way that we can make abortion legal. I said, there is. You've got to change the Constitution, and there's a process. You need 3/4 of the states.
Yep.
There's a process to amend the Constitution. We've done it 20-some times. We can do that.
Yeah.
But these dumb people are like, oh my God, he just took away our rights. No, he didn't. You didn't have a right. It was sent back to the states. And and then they say, then they follow that up by saying, well, the states' rights bullshit, the Electoral College, that's all racism. No, it's not. States' rights happened because Rhode Island said, fuck, Philly and New York are going to run this bitch if we don't do something about it. Back when they wrote the Constitution, has nothing to do with slavery, has nothing to do with racism. It's all, these people want to be programmed.
Yeah,
they want to be programmed.
It's a great point.
And oh, by the way, it's a lot easier to enact something in a state constitution or state law than it is to get 3/4 of everybody in the federal government to fucking agree on something, let alone something as controversial as killing a baby. Whether you want to admit it or not, that's what we're arguing about here. So that's why it went to the states, because you've got a lot better shot at doing something in your state and getting laws enacted that you want than you do on a federal level.
That's what I tell people all the time. I get so mad when everyone banks their entire life on the federal government. I'm like, you realize the state government's got a lot to do with your day to day. Like, it's got more to do with your day to day than the federal.
It's literally in the Michigan Constitution. So anybody in Michigan who used that as their reason to vote for Kamala is a fucking dumbass. Just a total dumbass.
It's settled law. And people don't understand, if it's not in the Constitution, it's a state issue. They don't. That's what I mean. You don't even understand the basics. I can't have a conversation with someone who doesn't know the basics. And you shouldn't fucking vote.
100%.
We need a test for voters. We need a test to vote.
100%.
100%.
Yeah,
we should have to take the same immigration test that the immigrants have to take.
So funny enough, actually, if you gave that test to the average American, they couldn't fucking pass
fail.
it. Like immigrants get it a lot better than we do. It's funny.
Yeah.
No, you'd pass it, Amy, but you'd pass it like I'd pass it. We'd be C students. We'd be C students.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I got in. That's about it.
Yeah. Hey guys, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much. It's going to be an interesting time. Do you expect that this is less turbulent going forward? I think the country's lost its appetite for the fight.
I found a video I was looking for by literally putting an X trans retard. I feel like we're healing a little bit. Like I can just do that now. I'm like that's a good sign that things are going to be okay.
As long as Garrett can say retard, everything's fine.
Tranny retard, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I think we should bring back the word cunt, though.
Yeah.
Because in Game of Thrones, it was great. Favorites. But everyone's got to say in an English accent.
Cunt. I love that word because it starts.
We're going to say cunt.
Where do you guys land on faggot, by the way?
Oh, 100%.
I have a
all
pass.
the words.
I have the F word pass from a member of the community, so I'm okay. Yeah. But for the rest of you,
you know what?
Like that was one of my favorite words.
With the Trump victory,
I don't care.
With the Trump victory, I'd like the blanket just give everybody a pass. I feel like we should bring it back for a little while.
Yeah.
You know what else? Words should stop mattering as much as they do. People need to fucking relax.
I don't believe for a second anyone actually gives a shit about those words. They just use it as a weapon against people they don't like. That's all. I don't think anyone's offended by retard or faggot.
It's 100% that. I'll put,
the N word's different. The N word I get sort of, but the rest of them, like, nah.
No, I had a moment I posted on Instagram something like just voted, blah, blah, blah. Or if you voted for Trump, you're gay. And a bunch of my fucking anti-Trump friends liked that tweet. They thought it was the funniest thing ever, right? You realize I just used gay as a slur towards Trump. Like I was calling people gay as a slur. And I thought that wasn't okay in your community. But apparently it's okay if you say it against somebody they don't like either.
Yeah. Rules for the rules differ depending. Anyway, all right, guys. Have a great rest of the day. Who do you got tonight? Ohio State, Notre Dame? Greg?
Those fuckers are going to win it, but go
Notre Dame. We're all on the same page, man. We're all pulling for Notre Dame. Go figure.
Tell me it wouldn't make your night if Ohio State.
Can you imagine? Oh.
It would make everything so much better to know that their fans were just suffering in pain. Just total heartbreak. And also, like, can you imagine being JD Vance today? Seriously, you get sworn in as the VP and then your team is in the national championship, but you have to go to these boring ass parties instead of watching the game with your buddies.
Yeah, he wants to be pre-gaming big time right now.
For
He's
sure.
doing this bullshit.
He's going to watch it on his phone, Dak Shepard style.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, thank you so much. We'll do it again later this week. Garrett, I'll see you tomorrow, but thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for getting through the snowstorm. Thank you for getting held up at the airport, Amy. I appreciate it. Thank you, Greg. Bye.